You can learn to draw adorable plants in Procreate in just 3 easy steps. I'll guide you step by step through creating cute houseplants and sharing tips and tricks on how to make anything look really cute. By the end of this video, you'll be able to draw any plant in the Kawaii style, boost your observation skills, spark your creativity, and let your imagination grow. Hi, welcome to Haley K Studio. I'm Haley and I like to make Procreate tutorials for beginners. So let's start with a refresher on what makes things cute. To draw cute plants, it helps to understand what makes something cute. When I think of something cute, especially a person or a creature, it often has playful, exaggerated proportions, like a larger head and eyes, and a smaller body and a smaller mouth. You use rounded edges and corners because rounded shapes are easy on the eyes and it creates a friendly, harmless, and adorable vibe. Another thing you'll want to keep in mind in cute and kawaii versions of objects is to keep them simplified. A lot of details are typically stripped away to keep your subject uncluttered and simple, and it will be more pleasing to the eye. So now that you understand the guidelines for making something cute, how do you draw a cute kawaii plant? First, you want to choose the type of plant you want to draw and then take note of its shape, its proportions, and its key features. The next step is to simplify those features. So you can begin by sketching or drawing out your subject, but bring only in the main components of your subject in a simple way and don't focus too much on the details. And the last step is to add the rules of cuteness. Add the cute eyes, the cute mouth, and keep the edges rounded, and don't forget to keep it simple. So now we can take these steps and draw some cute plants together. The first houseplant I wanted to draw with you today is a cute cactus, like a little cactus that you'd have in a pot inside your house. The first thing we want to do is to find a cactus that we want to draw and then sketch him out. I'm going to use the reference tool in Procreate to help us sketch this out. So I'm going to Actions and then Canvas, and then I'll tap on Reference. I'm going to import in an image. So I have this little folder of reference images. So I'm going to choose the cactus that I found. And so this is a cute little houseplant cactus in a little pot. So applying the steps of drawing this houseplant, I'm taking note of its shape. It's got this main component, which is an oval, and these sort of upside down teardrop shapes, and it's got a little buddy right here, and then just a very simple cylindrical pot. I'd like to play with those proportions a little bit. I think this pot is a little too big for a kawaii style drawing, so I'm going to scale that down a little bit and make my cactus seem a little bit bigger. I'm just going to move this down. To start my sketch, I just have my Narinder pencil selected. It's in the sketching tab of the brush library, and I just have a black selected. So here's our cactus all sketched out. Now we need to infuse the cuteness in this, which is adding a face. We want to draw some big eyes and a cute mouth. So there we have our sketch to our cute cactus. So instead of adding a lot of little needles all around him, I softened it up by adding just little polka dots for his little needles that are on the actual body. But I did want to indicate that it is a cactus, and I added the little spikes going all around. It makes it a little bit more approachable and a little less scary, like a cactus would be. You don't want to get hurt around a cactus. So we softened it up by reducing the amount of actual needles that are going all around it. So now I'm ready to start adding the lining and the coloring to this image. So I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to put it below my sketch layer, and I'm going to turn down my sketch layer. And I'm switching to the monoline brush from the sketching tab, but I'm going to use this version of the monoline brush that I have made a couple changes to. I've got the streamline set to 86% and the stabilization set to 54%. And I've got a color palette right here that I made for this project. It's just called Cute Plants, and I will link this down below, and you can have this one for free if you would like to try drawing some of these cute plants. And I've set my monoline brush to 20%. So now I'll just go through and do that coloring and filling. So now our cute plant is all done. He's super happy and sweet, and I wouldn't be afraid to approach this cactus. The next plant I wanted to draw was a snake plant. A snake plant has a lot of tall blades coming up out of the soil, and I thought this would be a fun way to draw multiple faces by using the blades of the snake plant to play around with expressions even more. We have one snake plant with several faces on it that we can do, and we don't have to just do one face. And it's going to amp up the cute and be even more fun. So again, I will use a reference. So I'll turn on my reference frame and then import an image. And from my reference photos, I just have this snake plant right here. And we can see it's got several blades coming up out of the pot or the soil, and we can draw a little face on each of these. So first, let's go ahead and sketch this out and apply more of the kawaii proportions and roundness to this. Since we want it to look cute, we're going to add that rule of making some softness and roundness to it. So now we've got our basic shape of our snake plant. We can see that we took a lot of inspiration from it. We understood that they had tall blades coming up, but we added that softness to it. And now we'll use a little bit of imagination to draw the faces and infuse that cuteness into this. I'm kind of thinking this is a little family plant. I'm going to draw different faces on each of these. I'm going to make sure they're all happy because they seem like one little happy family. So now each blade of our snake plant has a little face, and adding a little bit more detail but a very simplified version of the stripes on the snake plant. I just did simple stripes on each of these, and now this is ready to do our color fill. And I'm sticking with my monoline brush and my same little color palette. So here's our cute family snake plant, and they've each got a very cute expressive face. I wouldn't mind having such a nice happy plant in my house. We got to play around with different kawaii expressions and learn a little bit more about how to infuse that into our kawaii style art. So with this last house plant, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I want to infuse even more emotion and story. A great way to start is by experimenting even more with facial expressions, and what I wanted to draw was a dead houseplant. And I wanted to also show that drawing these cute houseplants, you don't have to just add a face to the plant, especially if there's not a whole lot of body to the plant, which a dead houseplant isn't going to have a whole lot on it. So alternatively, we're going to put the face on the pot that the plant is in. If I were a plant pot and my plant had died, I'd be pretty sad. So our image is going to have a little bit of a story implying that as well. So I'm going to add my next reference, and it's this little dead plant right here. And he's looking kind of sad. This one doesn't look totally dead, but we're going to take inspiration with how sparse this little plant is and really amp up the drama. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch this out and observe my little plant down here in my reference. And I've just got my Narender pencil with black again, and I'll sketch this out. So now we've got our main sketch of our plant. Observing our plant, it just had a few branches, and I added that kawaii touch by keeping it a little bit rounder and softer, especially with my leaves, and I added very few leaves to really illustrate that this plant is not doing so well. And to add to that drama, I'm going to add a little sad face here. So now we know this little pot is super bummed out that its plant died. It might be ashamed of itself, it might be ashamed of its owner, but it's definitely sad. These eyes are very expressive and easy to do, and you can really tell a story with just changing up the expression just a little bit. So now I'll go ahead and line and color this image. Here's our sad little plant. It is now reminding me that I need to go water my house plants so that they don't end up like this and super sad. While I went through, I just was using clipping mess to add some shadowing, and I even added a bit of Gaussian blur so that it blended in a little nicely, just to add a little bit of visual difference to how this one was shaded. But our expression definitely tells a story. It adds a bit of drama, and I feel really sorry for this plant. I hope it gets repotted with a much nicer plant, at least an easier one to take care of so it doesn't die. So now that you know how to draw cute plants, you won't want to miss my other videos where I teach how to draw in the kawaii style. Click on the link in the screen and learn all about drawing in the kawaii style. I want to thank you so much for clicking on today's video and watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, hit that subscribe. I will be sharing more videos on how to draw in the kawaii style or just using Procreate in general. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!